Guys, with the end of the evil Saiyans, the girl Yamoshi no longer sees the point of being the goddess of destruction of Universe 7 and will pass her position on to Goku, and you will see everything now, but first leave your like. We will reach 3,000 likes as soon as if this goal is reached, I will bring the next episode in the sequence, and of course subscribe to the channel. Well, that said, let's get started. In the 7th universe. Currently, in the 7th universe, more precisely on the top of a mountain surrounded by several other snowy mountains, it was possible to see Yamoshi looking at the horizon watching the sunset that illuminated the top of the mountains. Soon the sun disappeared and the night began. Yamoshi at all times was focused on her happy memories with her old family while humming a song with her eyes closed. Yamoshi until that moment did not notice the presence of her youngest son, who was still sitting on a rock practically motionless while looking at his mother. Yamato had already been in that place for a few hours. A thin layer of snow had accumulated on his body as he was practically motionless looking at his mother. The snow was also covering Excalibur next to Yamoshi, who had his body full of snow. She didn't even care about it. Yamato thought, I've been here for a few hours and my mother still hasn't noticed my presence. I think she is so focused on her memories that she didn't notice anything around her, so much so that she didn't even bother removing the snow from her body. And even though my mother likes snow, she said she doesn't like having snow on her body. Yamato thought while looking at his mother, who was still humming a new song that was calmer and lighter than the previous one. This song Yamato recognized immediately. Yamato thought, this song is the same song she hummed to me when I was sleepy or sad for some reason. Apparently my mother also sang this song to Hercules, or at least she already knew this song from the time she was still in a relationship with that Hiroki guy. Yamato thought with a short smile, and then gave a small sigh. Yamato kept hearing his mother humming, and at some point he started doing the same thing, following his mother's rhythm, which made Yamoshi notice things around him, including his son, who was now humming with his eyes closed, letting himself be carried away by the symphony. Yamoshi said, Yamato? What are you doing here, my son? How long have you been here? Yamoshi asked. Yamato, upon noticing the presence of his youngest son, who, upon hearing his mother's voice, ended up opening his eyes and looking at her. Yamato said, I came to look for you, but you were looking at the horizon, so I decided not to disturb you and sat here. I think I've been here for a few hours, just like you. Yamato said, giving a short laugh as he moved after a few hours, making some of the snow above his body fall to the ground. Yamoshi said, hours? But I got here just a few minutes ago, said Yamoshi before looking around and realizing that a good amount of time had already passed since the moment she arrived at that mountain. When Yamoshi arrived, it was still daylight, and now it was night. Yamato said, I think you didn't notice the time passing. It's early evening now, and when I arrived it was still daylight, and you didn't have as much snow on your body as you do now, said Yamato before laughing while looking at his mother, who tilted her head to the side, making the snow in her hair fall, something that made the goddess of destruction laugh too. Yamoshi said, yeah, apparently I ended up getting carried away by my memories and ended up forgetting everything around me, and I didn't even realize that you were here watching me, Yamoshi said, laughing, embarrassed at the current situation. Yamoshi said, why did you come after me? I thought that at that moment you would be together with your father and his family. Every time they manage to get out of a risky situation, whether for the planet or for the lives of Goku's family members, they throw a party prepared by that human named Bulma. Yamoshi asked his son, who got up from that rock and got a little closer to his mother. Yamato said, I was at Dad's house, but I ended up feeling your aura and that you were feeling a mixture of sadness, anger, and some other bad feelings, so I decided to come after you to see how you were and if I could help you in some way, Yamato said to his mother, who was not very surprised by that. After all, her son had great potential for evolution. Yamoshi said, I would say I'm surprised, but I'm not that surprised. After all, you can learn things very quickly, and it looks like your skills have evolved a lot, said Yamoshi while looking at her youngest son, who just smiled at her. Yamato said, I learned from the best. Do you already know what you're going to do? Like, currently there is nothing going on in the 7th universe that needs you specifically, so you can take a vacation and enjoy it a little. After all, you were very busy recently because of your duties as goddess of destruction of the 7th universe, said Yamato, curious about what his mother would do now. After all, she was not in a position to continue acting as the goddess of destruction of the 7th universe, at least not yet. Yamoshi said, "Honestly, I don't know, my son. I just know that this work as goddess of destruction of the 7th universe is already making me angry. I have to go around destroying planets and entire civilizations. I have to fight threats to the 7th universe. I have to follow some orders from Daishinkan and Zeno, and the worst of all is that I have to stay away from the only family I have left," said Yamoshi, approaching his son and stroking his hair while removing the remaining snow. Yamato said, "Then why are you still working as the goddess of destruction of the 7th universe? You are strong, but there are others who can take your position like Dad, Uncle Vegeta, or even Beerus, who was once a god of destruction, and even though he wasn't one of the best, he still did his job, or at least tried." Yamato asked, looking at her mother while giving some ideas about who could take her place as the destroyer or destroyer of the 7th universe. Yamoshi said, "Beerus no longer wants to be the god of destruction of the 7th universe, and he said so himself. In fact, he thanked me for finally taking the burden of being a destroyer off him, so Beerus will not want to return to his old role as destroyer. Vegeta has his family and doesn't want to be away from them. Maybe in the future he can accept it, but not at this moment. Goku wouldn't be good at being a destroyer, but with Whis' help, he would be a good god of destruction since he's always looking for battles, and that would be a good way to convince him to accept the position of god of destruction. Goku doesn't spend much time with his family since he is always training, and if something were to happen, Goku could stay here on planet Earth until he needs to act like a god of destruction. So at the moment, his father is the one who is most prepared to the position," said Yamoshi, analyzing all possible candidates for the position of destroyer of the 7th universe. Yamato said, "What are we going to do after you give your position as goddess of destruction to someone else?" Yamato asked, leaving his mother surprised by his speech. Yamoshi said, "What are we going to do?" "What do you mean by that, my son?" Yamoshi asked her son, who nodded positively at her. Yamato said, "Yes, when you give the position of goddess of destruction to someone else, you will not stay on planet Earth, and I know that. So you will probably go on some trips or live on another planet, and I will go with you. After all, we are family, and I will not leave you alone in this situation, my mother," Yamato said before giving a smile to his mother, who ended up smiling at him. Yamoshi said, "I will give my position as goddess of destruction to your father, and Goku will probably accept if I persuade him a little. I will just need to say that he will face strong beings from other planets or other universes, and his father will accept it immediately. After that, I think we'll go to planet Namekusendin to live in the village I lived in for years, and there we can have a good life, and who knows, maybe you'll meet a woman to form a future family with," said Yamoshi to his son, who ended up blushing. Yamato said, "Mom, I'm still too young to think about starting a family," Yamato said, embarrassed by his mother's words, who just laughed. Yamoshi said, "I know that, and I hope it takes a long time for you to grow up so I can take care of you, but I can tell you that when you're older, I'll want lots of grandchildren," said Yamoshi, making his son even more embarrassed than before, which made Yamoshi laugh even more. But Yamato was happy to see that his mother was more excited than before. With that, we will end today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So see you another day, guys.